here's a tip to all filmmakers. If you're going to make a film that is 2.5 hours long, make sure it's perfect in every single way. No one likes to sit on their butt paying cash to see a 2.5 hour long movie that is total crap. Of course, I am referring to the movie Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, which came out a while ago, though I just recently saw it today. And yes, this is my first video in the new house. This is my new computer room. We have nice wood paneling up and everything. We have this really annoying window next to me. It's good. However, Transformers wasn't. Okay, you whiny fanboys. Yes, granted, there were some good things about this movie. However, as I said, it is not perfect. Therefore, I do not believe it to be worth the 2.5 hours that I spent at the theater watching it, and I will probably hesitate from buying it on DVD. What were the good things? Well, let's see. The music was good. They had a very good musical score, which much of the music was derived from the song New Divide by Linkin Park. Very good tune. Check out the music video as well. It's very good. Also, the characters themselves were interesting. The voice actors, I believe, couldn't have been better, especially in the case of Optimus Prime, considering they got the original voice actor, who unfortunately I do not remember his name right off the top of my head, therefore I cannot give it, sadly. Not to mention the fact that the battle scenes were pretty decent. However, there were plenty of cons. First, and keep in mind that all of these are spoilers, unless you've already seen the movie, in which case you can hear my ranting. In case I'm not mistaken, there was never a Transformer that transformed into a human. For crying out loud, if you're going to make a movie based off of an old cartoon series, the least you can do is try to make it faithful. This, however, did not make it faithful, considering they had a robot that transformed into a human. Never have I been more confused. Not to mention the fact that, even though he was brought back to life near the end of the movie, and then did an interesting battle with the Fallen, they killed off Optimus Prime. That's the one character you do not mess with if you're going to mess with anyone. If you want to mess with someone, get rid of those two annoying twins. I swear to God. Seriously, they did have some good moments, but for the most part, they were a distraction. And I would have liked them to at least do a little more work on developing the story of RC. In case you don't know who RC was supposed to be, it was supposed to be a collective consciousness that's supposedly a female transformer between those 3 motorcycles in the movie. I really would have preferred if they had worked more on the new characters. Not to mention the fact that at one point you get a nice look at some guy's rear end with his underwear riding up his rear end. On the big screen, that's not a good sight. Please, if you're going to do a film with anything like that, put a warning at the beginning of uncomfortable content. That way, we know that at some point we're going to have to shield our eyes and stop eating. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of people probably hurling their food out in front of them in the theater. I don't think the janitor would be pleased to come to a viewing room that is covered in puke. My final con with this movie, the amount of time. As I said at the beginning of this film, the movie is not perfect. Unless a movie is perfect in every way possible, it's not worth 2.5 hours. Seriously. The only exception to this rule that I can even think of right now would probably be The Dark Knight, due to the amazing performances given by the actors and actresses. And R.I.P. Heath Ledger. Now you're probably wondering, oh Mark, when's Mark's Corner gonna be up again and everything so that you can put this review in there instead? Well, I'll announce that later. Right now, I won't worry about getting all this stuff off of my chest because I'm more concerned about that at the moment than the fact that I am in the new house and can resume some of the things. So, what's my final rating for Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen? Well, I really hate to do this, but considering the lack of work on certain characters, the fact that they did things that really pushed it with the term Transformer, and due to the length of the film, I have to give it a 6 out of 10. I am really sorry, but it could have been much better. And it would have been worth the 2.5 hours had they worked on the flaws. Plus, there was this giant Transformer. There was actually 2 of them, but I'm talking about the one in the beginning in Shanghai. They brought that thing down in seconds, or at least Optimus Prime did. But it's 3 times the size as Optimus Prime. You'd think there would be a larger battle there. Of course, they didn't think of that. Seriously, if you have billions of dollars to work on a movie, put it to good use.